So recently, there's been a lot of talk given the movement of the Vancouver real estate market, whether the market will crash, whether it'll go up, whether people will be priced out of the market. Um, One of the questions I constantly get from everyone is, could you actually time this market? This is a question that if you're familiar with stock investing, you actually be very familiar with this question because a lot of investors, they do their trading, they try to time the market to maximize their profit. Whether you are a first-time home buyer, whether you are somebody looking for more space to try to move up, or you are an investor, this is one of the hardest questions that you will face. But before we get into it, hi, my name is Steven. I'm from the Exponential Real Estate Group at Joby Realty. And please don't forget to like or subscribe to our channel where we answer all your questions for anything regarding the Vancouver real estate market. So the last 15 years, I'm sure everyone's aware, Vancouver real estate has done very, very well. I mean, I've been hearing since '05. We are in a bubble, prices are way too high, no one can afford it, prices are very high against local wages, price income is through the roof. We're the most unaffordable city in all of North America when compared to local incomes. I'm sure we all have that one friend who we've advised over the years to buy a property, and we hear the same argument from them. We're in a bubble, we're gonna crash, I will wait for the crash to buy the property. What has happened to that friend? Not very well, I would assume. I have some friends who are like that. So let's not listen to these fearmongers. They constantly try to time the market, and while they're waiting for the market to crash, they're actually keeping the money in savings accounts, not getting a market return on the cash itself. The truth is, there are always a lot of opportunities in the real estate market. As long as you have the right information, you can always find great deals. Before we go into that, let's look at three different types of markets. There's a buyer market, a seller market, and a balanced market. For buyers, the best market is a buyer's market, as suggested by its name. In a buyer market, there's usually more listings than there are buyers. So listings, in essence, fight for the buyers. Listings tend to stay on the market for a lot longer. The buyers have lots of choices. They can negotiate with the sellers for things such as deductions after inspection. And typically, because there are fewer buyers, fewer properties get sold in comparison to the inventory in the market. And then there's the dreaded sellers markets. These are the markets that we typically have in Vancouver, especially over the last few years. In these markets, there are far more buyers than there are listings. Buyers compete for listings. When you go to an open house, there's lineups of people outside the property. Most times, sellers will take offers at the same time, with many buyers bidding for the same property. As a result of it, many properties will have prices that go over their asking price. In addition, a lot of these offers that come into the sellers are without subjects such as inspection, financing. Buyers sometimes don't really know what they're getting into unless they have professional advice. Finally, there's a happy medium. It's called the balanced market. In a balanced market, the amount of listings versus the amount of buyers are roughly in an equilibrium, and both sides have the opportunity to choose. There may be some multiple offer situations, but that's not what happens to every single listing that hits the market. Buyers have their ability to do their due diligence, and as a result, they're able to better find what they're looking for. Okay, let's look at Vancouver. As previously mentioned, we have one of the most expensive real estate markets in the world, and you need all the help you can get to get into the real estate market. At the Exponential Real Estate Group, we devise a system that can help you get into the real estate market and find great deals regardless of timing. How do we do this? Well, we start by examining the history of the Vancouver real estate market to have a better understanding of where we came from. In Vancouver, over the last 40 years, research have shown that there have been very few prolonged real estate slumps of over, say, 5 to 10 years. Further research have shown that if you held your fund in the S&P 500 for 10 years or more, you're almost guaranteed to make money post World War II. In 1977, the average price of a property in Vancouver is $70,000. In 2021, it has jumped all the way to 1.3 million. That isn't to say that the Vancouver real estate market is completely immune to drops in prices. For example, during the greater financial crisis of 08-09, I'm sure everyone can remember that quite well. Back then, there was a lot of panic in the financial markets. Governments were also panicking. They put a lot of emergency measures in place. Vancouver real estate prices went down by approximately 14%, whereas Toronto has only went down by about 6%. However, what was amazing for that time is how fast the Vancouver market rebounded. Through 09, our rebound had already started. And since 2008, the prices of Vancouver have rebounded by 82%. So for you to catch that opportunity, you would have had to jump in when it was almost a frenzy, and you would have had to time it perfectly in order to benefit the most from that 14% drop. Let's look at another great example. In 2016 July, Christy Clark, then Premier at the time and leader of the BC Liberals, decided to wield to public pressure and place a 15% foreign buyers tax on real estate of the Greater Vancouver area and several other areas in BC. I remember that moment vividly. There was a sharp panic in the markets and quickly listings froze. No one wanted to buy it. Everyone wanted to see the effect on the market. Nothing really moved for the next few weeks. However, the rebound from this is also very, very sharp. By early 2017, the rebound had already started to happen. Therefore, if you want to take advantage of that opportunity, you would have to act in the few months where between late 2016 and early 2017, and you would have to resolve to act against all the advice from the news agencies, from the market, telling you that a further drop might be warranted. And just recently, we all got a taste of this during the COVID crisis. The thinking is, during COVID, no one's working, governments are going to have to give massive support to the market, and therefore, because incomes are cut for a lot of people, real estate must be dead. In fact, the opposite happened. Interest were cut by the central banks, and there was massive liquidity pumped into the market by the government. Listings froze because people didn't actually want to show properties during the pandemic, and there was still a lot of buyers in the market. As a result, prices went up. So as the research have shown, it's usually a good time to get into a real estate market in Vancouver. In fact, if you're a homeowner in Vancouver and you hold your home for a long time, let's say for at least 10 years, it's all very difficult to find a time in which you would have lost in value. So why is that? What makes Vancouver so special? Well, for one thing, we have a thriving economy that's fairly diversified. We have industries here such as information technology, tourism, investment, a little bit of banking, and we have a very, very diverse array of people who like to come here. Second is how beautiful we are here. Just look outside your window. The mountains, the water, we're constantly ranked as one of the most livable cities in the world. And the third is the climate. In Vancouver, despite what we saw last year, usually it's hard to see over 30-degree weather in the summer. During the winter, we usually stay above 0 degrees. That type of temperature is very, very hard to find amongst the developed countries. So all this means Vancouver real estate is a very safe investment, and we think will remain so for a very long time. We do not advise you to try and time the market. We've seen many people try. We have seen many friends try, clients try. It is very, very difficult to time the exact moment when the market bottoms out. In fact, if we know the exact moment when it bottoms out, we would be very rich by today. Instead, what we recommend for you is work with a professional who have your best interest in your heart, who know the lay of the land, who will help you every step of the way and make sure that your most important financial decision is well taken care of. If you're still hesitant about jumping into the real estate market, please leave us a comment below. We'd love to hear why. Until next time, thank you very much for taking the time to watch this video.